Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another Q&A meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone is welcome to join. Please, if you have any questions, send your question in one at a time. Please be brief and precise. And if this is your first time to join the meeting, please let me know where you come from. Also, let me know how's the audio and video. I shall start reading your comments and your questions. Tony Yip, Sadhu, Sadhu, Chinese character, bless, Vince, Che, happy. Okay, Vince, thank you. Eli Hassan, good day, Tanajan. Good day to you. Video and audio clear, thank you. Geng Yenso, dear Tanajan, greetings from Penang. Hello to you. Carmen CH, good afternoon, Ajahn. May you be well and healthy always. Thank you. Bilim Suki Hotu, Sadhu Sadhu. Kim Bunchu, good afternoon, Ajahn. Good afternoon to you. Rusli Alam Saya, Namaskaran, dear Ajahn. Audio is clear. Video resolution a bit low. Yes, today is very blurry. I'm not sure what's wrong. Probably the connection is slow today. Jane Austen, the audio is very clear. Thank you. Tony Yip, dear Tanajan, the audio and video are fine. Thank you. Terence T.H. Lee, wishing Tanajan well and happy. Thanks for your Dhamma teaching. You're welcome. Kenneth Hunt, good morning, Tanajan. You are clear. Thank you, Professor. Ramsa JW, Namaskaran Prajan. Thank you. Chitta Sati, update. Dear Tanajan, bowing to you. I used to sit with a cushion to form a triangle to assist my two knees in touching the floor. So my body is more stable in meditation. However, I agree with you that I should not rely on too much external things. So I have started practicing to sit without a cushion. Thank you for your guidance. You're welcome. Kwan Patum Napa, Sadhu, Sadhu. Tommy Chai Songkam, Namaskaran Kanoi from California. Hope all is well with you. Thank you. I'm very fine, thank you. Question from Samanji, a journalist from Sri Lanka. Question number 1. Certain laymen claim to have achieved higher mental statuses, such as Sowana, Sakadagami, Anagami, or Arahant. Will a person who has truly achieved so much advanced mental status make public announcements? Usually not, because he's smart enough to know that it's safer for him or her just to keep quiet. But if he or she has to say anything, he or she will just say how to practice, how to achieve. But there's no need to claim yourself to be such and such a thing, because someone who has achieved high attainment is not hungry for fame anymore. If you're still hungry for fame, then this is your defilement. So usually an Arya person, one who has attained the Arya attainment, usually tend to keep quiet. If they speak, they only speak about the path, the practice, and the achievement without mentioning the person. Because he knows that whatever he says will be subjected to scrutiny, and it's hard to prove to people who has no way of knowing. So it's useless to tell people that you have achieved a certain level. It isn't productive. It can be more harmful than good. So it's probably better just to keep quiet. Because if you are truly attained, you have contentment. You're not hungry. You're not hungry for fame or praise or for anything from other people. You're happy as you are, so you don't need to do or say anything to gain more benefits. Namaskar Dhanajan from IE. Enilam, Sadhu, Sadhu. IE, audio and video is clear. Jane Austen, dear Dhanajan, how can we be mindful as we go through the day doing our usual daily activities at home and work? By being mindful of your work, whatever you do, stay focused with what you do only. Don't let your mind go think about other things. If you're cooking, just concentrate only on cooking. If you are washing, doing your laundry, just focus on the work that you do at hand. This is a way of being mindful. Don't let your mind go away from your body movement, your body activity. If you can do this, you will have mindfulness. But the important thing is you should not think as you go about doing your things, because the right type of mindfulness is the type of mindfulness that will stop you from thinking. If you're mindful but you still think about what you're doing, this is not as good as being mindful and not thinking at all. But if you have to think about your work, you have to think, but it will not be as good as not thinking. If you can do work that don't require any thinking, like cooking, washing, doing your laundry, and this don't require much thinking. But if you have to do bookkeeping and doing things that require a lot of thinking, you can still be mindful, but you cannot stop thinking. The goal of mindfulness is to keep your mind from thinking. You want to still your mind in meditation, because that's where true happiness is. The highest form of happiness is the happiness that you achieve from meditation. Once you can get to this happiness, then you don't need to go and seek for other types of happiness, which can be hard to get and can be expensive, because it will cost you time and money to get it. But with meditation, the only thing it costs is your time, but you don't have to spend any money to get to your meditation result, the peace and happiness from your meditation. So yes, you can be mindful when you're working, but not as good as when you're not working, because then you can be truly mindful and not thinking at the same time. Gautama Y, Sadhu, Sadhu. Metalo, Sadhu. Kenneth Tan Kibok, greetings Ajahn. May you be well and happy. Thank you. Tim Watan, Sadhu, Sadhu. Kachandila Action, greetings from Mexico. Thank you, Venerable Ajahn. You're welcome. Ananda T, Sadhu, Sadhu. Ajahn, good day, Ajahn. Good day to you. Eli Hassan, Ajah's teaching guide me well to better path while doing meditation. Now I know how to stop thinking when it starts again. Recite Bhutto, Bhutto, really the truth. Sadhu, Sadhu. Yes, a mantra can be very effective in countering your thoughts. Question number 2 from Samanji. Is it possible to ascertain whether a person has attained any 4 stages of awakening by outward appearance and behavior? Partially, not completely. To be certain, you have to ask the person what kind of achievement the person has achieved, and this is not stated in the scriptures. It is something that you find out in your practice, and only people who practice will understand, will know. But if you just tell them that I have let go of my attachment of the fetters, this is just merely scripture reading. But if you can explain what that means, then you can be certain. But you have to yourself, who wants to be a certain, who wants to find out, you yourself have to already achieve enlightenment. If you haven't achieved enlightenment, you will not be able to tell whether the person is speaking truly or not. So yes, it's like if you have passed a certain type of examination, you can talk to another person about this type of examination, whether he or she has passed it or not. If she say yes, you can ask to make sure that he or she really do pass the examination, because you have already passed and you know what the questions are. So in order to ascertain someone's attainment, you first have to attain to that level yourself before you can question the person, interview the person. I.e., question number 1, Ajahn. If someone actually wants to train themselves as a monk because of the demands of parents who require marriage, he finally chooses to marry with the intention of not wanting to have children or only wanting to have one child, because in the end he wants to continue living as a monk. Is the action right or wrong? It's neither right nor wrong. It's just an action that can delay your path toward enlightenment. It will be better not to get married and to live alone. Then you will have more time to do the practice for enlightenment. But if you have to marry, then you have responsibility to your family. So you won't have lots of time to do the path, to do the practice. So it's just a choice, really. Both of them are not right or wrong. It's just a matter of what, soon or late, if you don't get married, you will have better chance of becoming enlightened than if you get married. Chitta Sati. Question number 1, dear Ajahn, I am visiting you in about 3 weeks. Is there any group meditation with Sangha together in Kauchiwan, or does everyone strictly do his own practice alone in his locked area? You do your own practice. It's better, because each individual have different ability to do the practice. If they are forced to practice together, it can be disturbing, distracting if someone cannot continue on practicing and start to move. So it's better just to practice alone. And being alone is more conducive to meditation practice than being in a group. Tony, dear Ajahn, good afternoon. Last night there was a Bhante asked me to help him chanting the sutta, which is for a monk to give ordain to a person. He's not very good in reading the Pali words, so asked me to chant and record it into the mobile phone and send to him through WhatsApp because today he needs to give audience to somebody. My question is it the correct way? I help home by chanting the sutta, which is about will give audience to someone. Hopefully, Ajahn can advise me if I did the wrong way. Thanks a lot. If a monk who's gonna ordain someone cannot chant the verse, then he's not qualified to give ordination. So this is something sound like something stupid. Before you can ordain, you have to be able to say the word that you have to give to the person who ordained. So I'm not sure what kind of ordination that is, because in Thailand you have to go through training and examination in order to be qualified to become someone who can give ordination to someone else. Tan Siu Hong, greetings from Malaysia. Thank you, dear Ajahn. Sadhu, sadhu. You're welcome. Chayanit Yamada, good morning, Prajan. Good morning to you. Ayi, question number 2. Is there any different karma vipaka if you do the precept on Uposatha day or not? No. The 8 precepts are the same whether it's on any day that you keep. If you break, then there will be consequences for breaking the 8 precepts. Question number 3 from Ayi. I had an accident and I was in a coma for 3 weeks. When I woke up, I had no recollection of what happened during my coma. I don't feel like going anywhere like my friend did when she was in a coma, like a dream. Why don't I feel that way? What is the state of my core? It's called sleep. When you're in a coma, you are sleeping, and you can dream or you don't dream. It depends on each individual. Some people like to dream a lot when they go to sleep, and some people don't dream. So it's just a matter of the individual character. Nabiti Namaskar Ajahn. Thank you. Adeline Chin, good afternoon, Ajahn. Good afternoon to you. Chi Chin Chuan. Dear Ajahn, is there any beneficial merit from listening to Pali chanting from CD or from YouTube? If you listen with mindfulness, you get mindfulness. But you won't get any wisdom or understanding because you don't understand the meaning of the chant. It's better if you can listen to the chant of your own language, so you will be able to understand what it means. Then you might get some right understanding or wisdom. EOSC, good day, Ajahn. Happy to hear Dhamma from Ajahn. My gratitude. Thank you. Dear Pramsa JW, dear Prajan, I saw one lady who was joined in the Zoom meeting class last week, and during her meditation, that I saw her body was a lot sway and shake. What's the cause of that action and how can resolve? It's the lack of mindfulness. If you don't have mindfulness, then your mind can do a lot of things to your body, like moving it around. So when you meditate, you have to be constantly mindful. Once you lose mindfulness, once you start being mindful, then your mind can start to do also the things. So Ante, Satu, Satu. Nusa Mac, Satu, Satu. James Ong, greeting Ajahn, greetings to you. Alvin Lee Wei-Ping, good morning, Ajahn, Satu, Satu. Ayi, question number 4. At that time, the doctor said my chance of survival was only 5%. Even if I live, I probably wouldn't be able to think normally anymore because the accident hit a nerve in my head. During the early stage of recovery, there was a moment that I laughed when I heard my friend tell funny stories to cheer me up. But when my mind asked me to stop laughing, I couldn't stop it. I kept laughing. I realized I was the one who kept laughing even though my mind was telling me to stop. At that time, I knew one thing: my mind and my body are separated. Was it actually at the time that my mind not mindful because can make order to my body? Yes, when you don't have mindfulness, it means you cannot control your mind and your body. Question number 3 from Samanji. What does it mean to be a true Buddhist? How would you define a true Buddhist? What should be his key virtue? First, he has to have faith in the Buddha and Dhamma, absolutely. He believes in the teaching of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and Sangha only, and not other teaching. Or if other teaching doesn't contradict with the Buddha's teaching, they can, if they like, if you still want to study physics and mathematics, that's okay, but they should not contradict the teaching of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. As a Buddhist, you have to take the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha as your real teacher, and then follow their teaching and practice until you achieve the result. So his key virtue is to be faithful, have sattha. Then he needs to have viriya, which is diligence or exertion, to develop mindfulness, samadhi, and wisdom. This is true Buddhist. I.e., question number 5. Now my recovery is about 90%. There are some parts in my body that can go back to normal. I can accept that. And every time I finish chanting or meditating, I thank all those who have helped me. I thank all those who have helped me in this life and in past life. Is my action right or wrong? It's good action to be thankful. Chi Chin Chuan. I do not like chanting the word Buddha. Can I recite other words? Yes, you can recite the word Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, or Dhamma, Dhammo, or Sangho, or any other word. You can even recite the word death, 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 death. You can choose. I.e., thank you very much, Tanaja, Namaskaran. Bruce Lee, Alam Saya, from Indonesia, the Ajahn. It seems like there are many people claiming themselves as Buddhists, but it's not what they are. The same thing as there are so many people wearing robes as monk, but unable to keep even 8 precepts. That this world has always been like this, even since the time of the Buddha. Yes, some students in the time of the Buddha are the great thieves of the Sasana. Maha Gaurang in Pali. If I could borrow the terms from the Buddha himself, simply put, nothing I can do except recite Bhutto, Bhutto. You can tell yourself this is the truth. This is what happens, and be careful not to be deceived by false monk. You cannot truly believe that every monk are good. Some are bad. There are some bad monks around also. You just have to know how to choose, how to discriminate. Mali Eo Satuka, Lili Satu, Chitta Sati. Question number 2. Besides the 8 precepts, I used to observe the no talking, manner wearing, and not talking badge when attending the meditation retreat in the monastery. I will only speak when I am doing the duty task or Ajahn Samka asks me. Is this fine with you, Ajahn in Kauchion? If so, I will only address you by bowing or smiling, keeping silent for most of the time during my stay. I think you should talk when you need to talk, and don't talk when you don't need to talk. Don't be dogmatic. Don't insist on not talking. If you have to talk, if you have to communicate with people, you have to talk. But if you don't have anything to communicate, then you don't need to talk. This is how we do at Kauchion. We don't have a silent vow, but we try to seek seclusion and not associating, not mingling, try to be alone. But when we have to come to do work together, sometimes we need to say something, we say. But we only say what we need to say. Because sometimes it is important to communicate correctly. If you use deaf language, it might be difficult to understand what you mean. Dear Ajahn, normally the ordained will give by the Sayadaw, but what happened is not when he is not around. So the temple committee requested this monk to take part on giving ordained for a person who would like to become 1 week ordained. Thank you. I think this is just stupid. Yeah. Ordination is something serious, and you don't do it just for 1 week. You do it for the rest of your life. That's what true ordination means. So if you do just for 1 week, it's just like playing, not real. Mandalashi, if I live with a person angry every day, it's a good opportunity for me to practice Dhamma. Yes, it's a good opportunity to practice patience, also practice loving kindness. Loving kindness means for you to forgive that person. Whatever that person do, just forgive that person. Then you're giving kindness, loving kindness to that person by not getting angry at that person. It's a good practice. It's a good opportunity if you can do it. Patsy Chum, Satu Satu. Pasana Chunab Sevi. Good morning, Venerable Ajahn. Good afternoon to you. Mandala Shi, how could we let Dhamma into my mind more soon? Not just a knowledge and religion only. You have to practice mindfulness first. And you have to listen to Dhamma talks and apply the teaching in your daily life. You have to practice, not just reading the Dhamma only. Reading just half of the way. It's just part of the practice. You have to know what you have to practice by studying or reading Dhamma. Once you know what you have to do, then you have to do it. Then you have to practice mindfulness. You have to practice loving kindness. You have to be forgiving. You have to be nice and kind to other people, regardless of what they do to you. Question number 4 from Samanji. Could you tell us why you decided to become a Buddhist bhikkhu? Well, after studying and practicing, following the teaching of the Buddha for 1 year, I find that it is the best choice for me at that time. I had 2 choices, to become a monk or go back to work. If I go back to work, I wouldn't have any time to meditate, to practice. If I do, I would have very little time to do practice, to meditate. But if I become a monk, I could practice and meditate all day long. So I decided to become a monk because the result of meditation is far better than the result from from working. Mandala Shi. If someone's brain sick, no function to think, then he or she will not create new karma. If he or she cannot work, cannot move, then there will be no new karma. If you cannot speak or you cannot do anything, then you're not creating any new karma. Chi Chin Chuan. I would like to donate a small token of appreciation to Ajahn. How can I do it? You can contact my assistant at suchart.com. Go to the contact page and there's an email link that you can inquire about how to donate from my assistant. The email is assistant.ajahn@gmail.com. Chitasati. Tanajan, question number 3. Tanajan, do you have any daily Dhamma talk scheduled to the Sangha in Kauchion? No, I don't have any talk. People come to Kauchion will have to study by themselves, either following my Dhamma talk on YouTube or Facebook, or reading Dhamma books. And if they have any question, they can ask me personally. And in case I have some question about meditation in Kauchion, can I see you directly or have to wait for the open Dhamma discussion slot in the dining hall? You have to wait to see me in the dining hall after I finish eating. For sure, I won't disturb you always and take your time a lot. I am kind of a lonely seeker always. Thank you. Once you come to Kauchion, it is recommended that you suspend all your questions if it's possible, and concentrate on being mindful and stop thinking. If you keep asking questions, you will not be able to stop thinking. So when you're practicing, you try not to have any question. If you have any question, you will suspend it, leave it alone, because your goal is to stop thinking, not to keep on thinking with questions. So if you come to practice, you should stop thinking. Before you come, if you have any question, you can ask. But once you start to practice, you should stop have questions, because it can be counterproductive. Handy box. Good afternoon, Ajahn. Mind control us or we control mind? What is mind? Thank you, Ajahn. It's not mind who controls us right now. It is the defilement that controls us through the mind. Your greed, your hate, and your delusion is controlling you through the mind, using the mind to control you. And you can control the mind by getting rid of your defilement. When you get rid of your defilement, then you can control yourself. You can control the mind. What is mind? Mind is the one who thinks or one who knows. The one who thinks and the one who knows is the mind. Mandala Shi. Can we change chanting Putto to my mother's name or my grandfriend's name or your name because I love them? I will have more mindfulness. You can try it and see how it works for you. Thank you, teaching Buddha teaching for us, which I can continue to meet you. You teach and share for all human beings in this world. Give the benefit great. Thank you again all the time. You're welcome. Question number 5 from Samanji. Can a true Buddhist hold grudges? Yes, even if you are a true Buddhist, you can still have defilement. Only when you have achieved the highest level of attainment, as of being an arahant, then you will have no grudges against anybody. But if a person who holds grudges for ages tells you that she is so keen to end the cycle of samsara, so isn't it contradictory? It is not. See, if you haven't yet achieved the highest level of attainment, you can still have grudges. You can still have anger. Or once you have achieved the highest level of attainment, then you no longer have any anger or hatred or grudges. To Tan Peng, thank you, Ajahn. You're welcome. Pat Choi Chong, Satu. Question number 6 from Samanji. For a person who is keen to learn the key teaching of the Buddha, what books would you recommend? Preferably the books written in English or translated into English. Well, I would recommend you read the suttas of the Buddha first. The first sutta is the first sermon we call the Dhammacakka. The second one is the Anatalakkhana Sutta. The third one is the Aditaya Sutta. The fourth one is the Satipatthana Sutta. And the fifth one is the Mangala Sutta. These are the principal teaching of the Buddha. You can search in the internet for these 5 sutta, and they are all translated into English. The Buddha is the best teacher to study from when you're first starting. You should study from the Buddha first. Then afterward, then you will know, when you study from some other people, you'll know whether they're following the teaching of the Buddha or not. Bruce Lee Alamsaya. Question number 2. Is it a good livelihood for a person to take some of the teaching of the Buddha, repackaging into a form of retreat or meditation class, and took some fee or money from the participants? Some of my friends here are doing this kind of livelihood, but for me, Dhamma has always been enjoyable, relaxing, the uncomparable feel, real entertainment in this world. Other friends remember what Venerable Mother Tiger taught. The Dhamma has always been the noble of this world. So don't make it good as the mark. So don't make it like goods at the market. I'm not sure what you're trying to say here, but if you ask whether you should be charging somebody for teaching the Dhamma, then no. But Dhamma should be given freely. There shouldn't be any charge. But people who participate in Dhamma retreat should understand also that there are costs that has to be paid by someone in order to maintain, to establish a meditation retreat. You have to have some people donating money to pay for the construction and the maintenance, and to pay for the expenses, the food and everything. So if you attend a meditation retreat, you should consider this. Although it's given freely, but it needs support in order to be able to continue on providing this service. And to continue on, then it will be necessary for you who are taking the benefit, getting the benefit from this retreat, that you should also contribute. But how much is up to your ability. There's no fee, no set free. Varataya Asakun. This is a follow-up to the question asked during last English Zoom about reducing reaction to a situation, but unaware until later. May I ask if this can be regarded as mindfulness functioning automatically on its own? Thank you. When you start to react less, it means you have more mindfulness. If normally you used to react, and after you have been practicing mindfulness, you start to decrease your reaction, then this is the result of establishing mindfulness or practicing mindfulness. Question number 7 from Samanji. As the Buddha said in Majjhima Nikaya, every living being has karma as its own, in its inheritance, its cause, its kinsman, its refuge. Karma is that which differentiates all living beings into low and high state. Could you enlighten us more on karma? What is karma and how does it come into play in an individual life? Karma is the action performed by the mind through the body, action and speech. It's the mind who directs the speech and the body action. And this action can be good or bad, harmful or beneficial to other people. If they are harmful, it's considered to be bad karma. If it's beneficial, it's considered to be good karma. And when you do good karma, your mind becomes happy. When you do bad karma, your mind becomes unhappy. So this is basically what happens when you do karma. And this happiness and unhappiness is the one that differentiates people from one another. Some people are happy and some people are not happy. Basically. So this will then make them to be different type of people. People who are not happy tend to do bad things more than people who are happy. People who are happy tend to do good karma. So this is about all I can tell you about karma. Handicap is the mind born kind and pure. Only defilement creates trouble and illusion. The problem is the mind doesn't have birth. The mind is something that isn't born or isn't born or die. Doesn't born or die. The mind just exists, and it happened to have defilement. And it only takes a person like the Buddha to be able to get rid of the defilement. Once there's the Buddha who knows how to get rid of the defilement, then the mind can be pure. And then he can also teach others to get rid of the defilement and to make the mind pure also. Chi Chin Chuan, the sutta translated are long, winded and confusing. Some of the parts are repeated with the same thing except one concept. How do I overcome this problem? Well, you can skip the repetition as long as you understand what it means. But this is the way how people remember the sutta, by keep reciting repetition, because repetition will then reinforce memory. But if you understand that this repetition really means the same thing, then you can skip when you read these things, if you want to read just for the sake of understanding. But I think during the time of the Buddha, monks have to recite this teaching in their mind. So there's a need for the repetition, so that they can remember it easily. The more you keep repeating, then the more you will be able to remember. But for the sake of reading yourself, as long as you understand what it means, then you can skip the repetition. Hannah Box, Satu Satu. Chitta Sati, dear Dhamma friend, who can write down the 5 sutta Ajahn mentioned just now. Thank you so much. Oh, admin, could you please help on this? Thank you, Satu Satu. Mandalashi, These 5 suttas spelled in English can Ajahn share for us because the Pali spelling, if wrong, can find on Google. But I still try and make my best to find this sutta. Thank you. I think one of my assistants who is listening now might be able to help posting these 5 suttas. So maybe you have to wait a little bit. We have 15 more minutes, so I think one of my assistants will be able to type it and send it in. Question from Samanji, question number 8. At times we are being compelled to associate with people who would make our life unpleasant on purpose by harassing us unnecessarily or by inflicting pain on us in some way or the other. According to Buddhism, we get subjected to such harassment due to a bad karma we had committed either in this life or previous life. Let's call A the victim and B the culprit. For example, to make A pay for his karma, B is made to commit fresh karma by inflicting pain on A. So we accumulate bad new karma by making A pay for his past bad karma. Later, either in this birth or in the next birth, B will have to pay for his bad karma, which he had to commit unknowingly to make A pay for his previous bad karma. How would you justify B being made use of in order to make A suffer for his past karma? There is no justification. The only way to overcome this retaliating action is to stop retaliating. If someone do something bad to you, then don't react to them, don't retaliate. Just consider that you want to stop this vicious circle of retaliating against one another. If you can do that, then eventually there will be no retaliation from your enemy, your opponent. If you keep retaliate, then you will get retaliation back. Action produces more action. No action will produce no action. That's the law of karma. If you don't want to have any reaction from your opponent, stop your action. When you stop your action, you will also stop their action eventually. Pataraporn Buosuk, Satu Satu. So another, dear Ajahn, is it against the 8th precept to consume this food after 12, chocolate, sunflower seed, cheese, seaweed? See, the Buddha allows certain types of medicines to be taken after 12 o'clock, and chocolate was considered to be a type of medicine, as well as sunflower seed, and cheese also, according to the Sangha interpretation, and seaweed. Apparently, these are all considered to be medicinal, have medical benefits, so you can take them after 12 o'clock. Bruce Lee Alamsaya, question number 2 was clearly answered. Thank you very much, dear Ajahn. You're welcome. Alfredo Vilela, hi Pante, for Supa is our teacher Pante, and Samadhi to be possible. Yes. Question number 9 from Samanji. How can we make use of the teaching of the Buddha in order to deal with hopelessness? Your hopelessness comes from your misunderstanding of the truth. So you should stop your hopelessness by stop thinking temporarily. Keep reciting Bhutto Bhutto when you feel hopeless. After you have recited the Bhutto and you can stop thinking, then your hopelessness will disappear. Then you will be able to look at the situation properly again with wisdom. So yes, when you feel hopeless, try to use mindfulness to stop your hopelessness. Once you have stopped your hopelessness and when you start to looking at things, you will see it in a different light. Sulan Uri, Sadhu Ajahn, thank you for your sharing. I like the part on non-retaliation. Chris Eo, Sadhu Sadhu. J. Chudasama, Sadhu. Question from Jamie Maru, the UK. Please explain the meaning of no self. No self means there is no ego, no you, me, or I. This is just a concept created by the mind. Not true. It's just a concept. Because everything is like the work of nature. Everything has no self. Like the water has no self, the wind has no self, the rain has no self. So should be your body. So should be your thoughts also. But somehow the mind who think has the illusion and create this concept of a self. That thinking that I think, I feel, thinking that the body is me, for instance. These are all concepts, not according to the truth. Because the truth, there is no self. The truth is that everything is work of nature or natural phenomena. Like the wind, the rain, the sun, there is no self in this thing. Okay. Chittasati from sister. The 5 sutta that Ajahn mentioned are Anatalakkhana Sutta, not self discourse, which you can find at kammatthana.com. Second, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, first discourse, which you can find also at kammatthana.com. Adita Pariya Sutta, the fire sermon, which you can. Okay, I hope you can read this post by Chittasati. Question from Ravi, India. I practice Buddha method and also counting breath as 1, 2, 3 to 100 for each complete in and out breath. May I continue breath awareness with counting method 1 to 100? Breath counting falls under which Satipatthana Sutta? Kaya, Vedana, Citta, Dhamma, Vipassana. It falls under Kaya in the section of Anapanasati. Anapanasati is watching the in and out breath, breathing. Watching the in and out breath is called Anapanasati. It is in the Kaya section of the 4 Satipatthana Sutta. Sulan Uri, dear Ajahn, samsara feels like a lonely existence. Is this the reality that the Buddha and noble disciple accept and abide with in Nibbana too? I'm not sure what do you mean by samsara feel like a lonely existence. Samsara is a existence with lots of people. Like in this world, we have plenty of people we live with. How can you say it's a lonely existence? It's Nibbana, that's a truly lonely existence. But lonely existence that is not that is full of happiness, that is full of bliss. Samsara is not a lonely existence, and samsara is very full of people, full of activity existence. It's nibbana that has no activity. Nibbana is peace and emptiness, and peace and happiness, existence. Check Lin Tan, the 5 sutta that Tan Ajahn mentioned are okay. Thank you, Check Lin Tan, for your post. Enilam Satu Satu. Rusli Alamsaya, question number 3. I find most temples in my city present singing sutta, plain singing and even some dancing. As practicing 8 precepts, I prefer not to waste my time going to these places, labeled as temple, and enjoy secluded living at my own house. Is it better to spend time with the sila and calmness without going to temple? Thank you very much, dear Ajahn. A true temple should be a place of quiet and seclusion. If a temple is a place of activity, then it's not considered to be temple according to Buddhism. Real temple is a place where you can find quietness, can find seclusion, where you can then meditate and achieve peace from your meditation. So yes, if your house is calm and peaceful, you can consider your house to be the temple. Lo Chuk Boy, Satu Satu. Sanilim, Satu Satu. Chitta Sati, thank you so much, sister. You are really super and brilliant, cool. Okay, we have about just 2 minutes left for our time today, for this meeting today. I hope you enjoy this meeting and find it fruitful and helpful to help you advance in your practice. Thank you for your participation, and if all goes well, I'll see you all again at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.